I've been very aware of the negotiations going on for about a year and a half, right? Only rumors. I'm not privy to the meetings. I don't get to go to the meetings. At the request of the developer, who wants to keep the meeting somewhat private because he doesn't want his competitors to come into the market. I get it. So far, I haven't seen anything unusual. They've set up a subsidiary company called New Bern Historic, but that's really common. You wouldn't have any developer coming here not setting up a subsidiary company. And I can promise you, there's no board members on that subsidiary company. That would be a federal crime. And Kessler Group, which has been in business since the 80s, would never threaten to damage their company with legal ramifications by letting somebody local own their corporation. That corporation will have to be filed in North Carolina. It's a Delaware company, but 60% of all corporations are filed in Delaware. There's nothing unusual. Yet. They have to file in North Carolina, and they will file. I promise you, they will file.
Without filing first. That's my question.
It could be. It's a great question. I can't answer that question, but I can promise you, if they do business in North Carolina, they will have to file.
They do, but they haven't.
But they haven't yet, but they will. All right, so be patient. It will. And if they file in North Carolina, then the members will have to be exposed, and we're going to find out. Typically when they expose, it's typically the lawyer that does the filing. It's not going to tell us that much. That is the typical way developers do it.
What is the purpose? I'm not an attorney. What is the purpose of these subsidiary?
The purpose of subsidiary is to protect the larger companies. So most developers will come into a local market. Most of the time, they name their subsidiary after the property. So in this case, I fully expected the subsidiary to be named Elks Building LLC. But I think they have their interest on more properties in town. Obviously they do. We can't fault them for that. They're business people, right? Right. So they just gave themselves a generic name. They do that to hold their assets in a local corporation so it protects the bigger corporation. It is very common practice among developers. Very common.
Not being an attorney, how does that protect?
I don't know. Are you an attorney?
No.
Yeah, I'm not either. Maybe an attorney.
We need a lawyer.
Need an attorney. But I do know it's very common practice. Very, very common practice.
Shameful, and I'm going to say this, that our taxpayer dollars are not going to help us. I think it's shameful. Everybody out here has paid and paid and paid and paid taxes, and we don't even get a chance.
You don't get a chance to speak.
We don't get a chance to have what we want.
Well, you do. You just have to organize. I mean, you're organizing,
you know what I mean?
And you're speaking, and you're making movement. I can tell you. I can't promise this, but there's very little chance that this will go through.
I pray not.
Very little chance.
Because it's not just us. I'm 76. Yeah. We have future people that are coming up.
Yes.
We have other people besides older ones, our children, their children, that are coming here. It's sad that we would let this go through, or somehow it would go through, and not give them a chance to see what we see.
Of course. There's two things, there's two takeaways that I've witnessed with this whole ordeal. One is, we need a citizens committee appointed by the city, a quasi-judicial committee, just like the HPC committee and all the other committees, that protects our parks and public spaces. All right, so we need that. A lot of towns have that. And the other thing we need is a long-term strategic plan in the city, which we don't have. So when a developer comes in, we can show them the strategic plan, and if they can do business within our strategic plan, great. If they can't, then go on to another town.
Isn't that what we aldermen for and the mayor for?
Yes.
And the people that are aldermen or are mayors should not have a conflict of interest.
Woo-hoo!
And the bagel property here, that is a
Yes.
And I'll tell you one thing, as far as businesses, I don't believe in boycotts. But I'll tell you what I will be looking for. I'll be looking for a Save Union Park at every business downtown
I'll be there.
And not be nasty.
Yes, they should be polite.
Reiterate. I mean, because in the moment we all get upset. We say things. when you speak, when you email, or whatever you do,
Be civil. Don't be
be
vulgar.
polite. Don't be vulgar.
Nobody listens to that.
Absolutely.
Please.
Place alone for you.
It doesn't involve businesses.
What's that?
Will you be notifying all the businesses?
Yes, we have a downtown merchants meeting the last Thursday of every month. So we have one coming up in, I don't know, 2 weeks, week and a half, and we will be discussing this.
They're also
If you want to be on the committee, you will find me sitting over there with a sign-up sheet. So come to me if you want to be on the committee. Again, we need people who have fought the city successfully before. We need people who know things about the environment, know things about the history of this land, know things about the cultural importance, know things about construction. I mean, is this even suitable for building on?